Brad and I were, it's a working session, it's Saturday, August 19th, Brad and I are working on, physics, evolutionary computation, ternary logic. We're trying to make sure that we've adequately created headlines for demarcating these three different subjects. Brad has just set up that evolutionary computation is one of the most difficult subjects to grasp, and I would like to you to talk about that a little bit while I try to figure out how to title this. I think I have it.
In that it suggests something that is there's a, in the mind of the listener who hears it spoke, there's a suggestion of somebody computing, like a what's the right word? Anthropomorphism. And the issue is the universe is detecting, constructing, and keeping stable equilibria together.
Yes. Right, but why is this hard?
Eliminating those ones which are not fit. I want you to, there's a, in the two sentences above, it says discovery of equilibrium, equilibrations. Okay, that's a different word. They're equilibria, they're
Equilibrium?
They're stable equilibria, right?
Yeah, I just don't know what this is. I don't, you know, I'm gonna ask you help on this thing. This is the work I'm doing to try to teach ChatGPT to write legislation.
Oh. Is that you're working on the instructional
What's the prompt I have to give it in order for it to write legislation? It knows what legislation is, but can it do it with our language? I don't know that anymore.
Amazing. System prompt, right?
Well, that's two different things. I can write PLAW. So there are, anything you send to it is a prompt.
Right.
So there are, so theoretically you could have anything, right? Anything.
Right.
I'm sure they have prompts that they give it, right? And then you have like a system prompts, which is what the a specific application will try to do to narrow the response. Then you have the what is it called? The user's preference prompt, which says, I want information in this context from this frame, which is the same thing. It's just the system limits what the user can see, and the user limits what he sees within the system. And then finally, you have whatever you ask the thing to do, which is whatever you prompt it with, which is the command line. So a system prompt is something that is given by the application, right, to narrow it, whereas a user prompt is asking the question, so in the context of the development work we're doing. A system prompt is what keeps it within like the whatever, well, it'd be the medical, financial, legal, whatever context. So that, basically don't get people coming to your application and asking questions about what restaurant to go to tonight, because it's perfectly capable of doing that, but you don't want to burn cycles on your application answering those questions, because it's very cheap, but it costs money.
Right.
In mine, I asked, don't give me all the nonsense, just give me the straight, that's what my prompt says. All right, so where are we here? So we were at, I wanted to ask the question of
Hmm. Wow. Huh.
state, the action, the process, the plurality, and what about equilibrates? What about something? So what did I say over here that you asked me about?
Oh, yeah.
Discovery of,
You had it's the
oh,
same,
this is correct. Whatever I had was wrong and whatever you gave me is
but
right.
I think it will be stable, right? Stable equilibria. What I like about the use of that term is that it suggests a dynamic function. Hmm. 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 Variable spelling for discovery. I have to watch you when I correct your spelling so that you don't slip something in there that I'm not paying attention to.
My little trick worked, huh?
Yes, your trickery is tricky. Hmm.
Okay, so. I like this thing. Physics discovers cooperation. How do I do summary of this one? Therefore, summary. Yeah. I don't think we need to do better than that.
No. So is cooperation called computation? No, there it is right there, that first sentence. Cooperation in the satisfaction of coincidences of wants and supply and demand, yeah.
This is the problem. I just see. I don't want. Maybe I did it wrong. Where's cooperation? Cooperation, 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 cooperation. And this is evolutionary computation. Yeah. You can separate the principles.
Say that again.
Well, I want to make headlines.
Okay. Well, what does that mean?
Well, I'm trying to make it so you have breaking points so that we uncover these
Right.
one at a time. And what we got is the cooperation, right? And that's what we have here. It doesn't really. It doesn't really lend itself. So you have acquisition. Acquisition. Cooperation. Because we don't have an adversarial competition.
Oh, where are you gonna put that?
So I'm thinking,
Because that's the opposite of cooperation. We think about it in a ternary logic. Cooperation and competition are the polarities.
survival is the computation.
Yes. I don't like it because it has the copula in it.
It has what?
The copula in it. There it is, right there.
Right.
So you were passing cooperation, so now we have adversarial competition. Yeah. I'll ask you a question.
Here, please.
So I'm looking at this ternary logic. Adversarial competition is negativa. Cooperation is positiva. And computation is the result.
Mhm.
Becomes evolutionary computation when the concentration of matter and energy increases sufficiently to add a level of complexity to the mix.
Mhm.
And each level of complexity is essentially quantized.
Yes.
So it lends a physics understanding to the general nature of the organization of the structure of the universe as described by the languages we are generating.
We have, oh, I get it, internal consistency.
That's funny.
Let's see this.
I think information is capital is the same thing.
Oh, you mean creating a capital, creating information as capital in organization.
Of matter and energy.
Hmm. This is the big word. That's what you think. This is capital in the organization of information. A stable relation. Okay, that's sexy. Can I please keep my current probability, please?
I'm sorry, your mic is not picking up what you're saying.
I really want to keep my current level of cognition.
Okay.
This, it's just, everything is so much easier.
Okay, when you say, I want you to define the internal consistency and external consistency there. So it's internal to the system we're talking about.
Mhm.
So it'll be like the organism or the molecule or whatever. But it has to survive in the context of the environment.
No, there's plenty of things that don't survive in the environment. You can create plenty of molecules, but the minute you put them with other molecules, they disassemble.
Right. I see. I get what you're saying there. Stable relations, right?
So we
Internal,
call-
internal consistency is via positiva and external is via negativa. That's messed up, man. I didn't expect that.
all we're doing is just saying, the same shit happens everywhere. It's like,
It's happening again. Look here, and here, and here, and here. Beautiful. Capital's an equal sign.
I know, I'm gonna get there.
So you need to change the beginning of that sentence, I think. I'm sorry. That's good. That's right. I think that you would change the beginning of that sentence since you mentioned capital twice in it. And I would say I would start this paragraph with the organization of information instead of producing capital ND. And then instead of producing, it produces stable internal and external relations. And not energy.
Mhm.
Not energy captured, energy captured. Above surviving at the bottom. Yep. That was particularly peevish. It's quite an interesting discussion, I think.
I think this was awesome. I'm gonna do this. Just to make it easy. to read.
That's right. That's right. I would put a parenthetical in this as a demonstration of the ternary logic again, right? Somewhere up at the top. Because it's like every time you have a ternary system operating, you have plus, minus, and equal. Right?
Well, we haven't covered ternary logic yet.
Oh, we haven't?
No.
Oh my.
God, this is so good.
That one is like a description of the ternary logic. Isn't it?
Yeah, I like it better because we put the capital here. We've disambiguated. Information stored as organization. Energy captured. And I mean, this is quite useful. Because it combines
To get my name.
the energy and the information of the
Yeah.
organ.
Here is a reminder to get my name.
Hey, Alexa, can you walk downstairs and get my mail for me?
I'm not sure.
Oh, Brad. This is one of my favorite things we've done so far.
Mm-hmm. Yep. What's funny? It's fascinating to me. I can predict the word you're going to write. That's impressive to me. That's the only word that fits there. It's like, okay, that makes sense.
I don't know, I kind of really like this. This is starting to feel really good. That used to be. There's a therefore name there. Therefore what?
That just seems like it's in the wrong place, man.
What does?
That thing we just made.
Oh, because we're trying to do a cooperation first. Then describe it as the first principle.
Okay.
Then describe it as the ternary logic.
Okay.
And then from there, we've got everything, because what do we need? We need the first principle,
Right.
and the ternary logic. But we have to explain, and the first principle, the why, and the ternary logic. All right, so we got what causes it, how does it operation, and what results. Evolutionary ternary logic of what? Evolutionary computation. So So are we generalizing evolutionary computation and ternary logic? I think so.
Yeah,
Or should we stay at ternary logic and then call it evolutionary computation? I don't know. I'm okay with the way it is unless you want to. I like
No.
to stay with logic last if at all possible. 'Cause
right,
it's the most generalized.
okay,
You know, we might be a bunch of clowns, but we do pretty serious work.
it is pretty serious. It's heavy lifting.
I really like what we just did. Now, if you could come back and say what you didn't like about being in a position, I might like to understand that a little better.
What's that? Oh, about it being in that position?
Because I think we've got it.
Okay,
Yeah, cooperation, right? Adversarial competition. Revival.
go up just a little bit. Oh, hang on, there you go. That's a summary right there.
Yeah, but we've got this structure and the problem is we have this structure at X levels and it's sort of hard to keep all the structures in mind.
Right,
So we've got accumulation. Right? Cooperation,
okay,
competition,
I see how it works.
and I would say capitalization, you know, I don't want to overdo capitalization, but I mean, is it survival? Is survival? Survival? What goes in here?
I would say survival capitalization. Persistence, there you go.
Persistence? Survival. What's the difference between persistence, survival, and capital? Nothing.
Capitalization, I would say capitalization. You could put it in a series, you know what I mean?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Oh, you're so good. Sometimes I want to kiss you.
I know.
Survival. Persistence.
What that does is it then it also gives you the potential for evolutionary computation. It gives you evolutionary computation. So right?
Right? Is
Yeah.
that what you're trying to say?
It gives you evolutionary computation because it's like it allows you to accumulate sufficient capital to jump into the next quanta of information organization.
I get it, I know what to do.
That's right.
Wait a minute.
That's good. There you go.
Okay, that's good. This computation.
Huh. That's better than good, man.
You did good. You did good work. Does that need to get indented? I think we indent these, right? I don't know.
Nice. That's between forms. This is an interesting function here. So go pull back down where you were operating a minute ago. Right there. Producing evolutionary computation of energy and information. And I would have somewhere in there, right? Forms. There's forms. I
Oh,
would like I'm looking at it of it as after energy or after information and information in organization, somewhere in there parenthetically it's a form, right? It's forms. And so if you go back up to where you just were operating,
here.
no, a little bit further, yeah, adversarial competition is between forms and cooperation is within forms.
I don't know if that's, I don't want to get that specifically. I'm using, hold on, let me just think. So I'm using organization because I want to give a name, an operational name. A form is a representation of an organization. All right, what's the difference between form and organization?
Hmm.
Form and organization.
Because The issue is that
Different organizations and different forms. What's the difference?
different organizations, that represents a form in among other forms that are not the same, which is the environment.
Right, but they're in an environment, they're a form and well as the background.
Which all other forms are included in between forms.
All right.
It's just thought provoking.
Well, it's certainly, I can see how it's getting clarity. I'm cautious of Plato.
Oh,
And so that's what's trigger. That's what's making
I understand you.
me hesitate.
I'm writing "Beware Plato" in my notebook.
If we say organization, parenthetical forms, that's okay because it's like, oh, I see. But then we're not getting into the ideal when we're just,
We're abstracting.
and I want to keep the information necessary in the organization. That's because that's the issue, right? That's the thing we don't quite understand is how, well, excuse me, we understand it, but the complexity of it is inconceivable to us. In other words, we can't disambiguate it. And that's because am I not recording this? I am recording this. That's because the nature takes advantage of every organization opportunity possible across the spectrum. So one of the things we're emphasizing is cooperation as a general principle. All right, so where's it? All right, so that's it doesn't have, in other words, we're generalizing cooperation down to the involuntary level. But in
Yes,
that sense, but in similar senses, even though they're non-sentient, the physical universe is producing cooperation at all levels, right? So what am I trying to get at here? I'm trying to get at that I want to keep the not awareness of the operational causality that goes from the physical world, behavioral, political, group evolutionary, because as there is information inherent in the organization
yes.
itself. In other words, so something, it gets easier when you get up to DNA, right? Well, it's obviously this shit is organized for some purpose.
Right.
And that but so it's this idea of structure creates organization until structures can create organization of structures. Just like organization of structures can produce cells, just like organization of cells can produce multicellular organisms, just etc. So I'm just trying to, just as individuals and social groups and civilizations and whatever.
Now, the important part to me, the important part to me here is cooperation is within and adversarial competition is without, which you said in the internal consistency and the external consistency.
I didn't get that, and I know you meant something there, so try that again.
Cooperation is within the form, which includes the organization of energy and information.
Oh, okay, so there's more going on here.
And that's between forms that are not cooperating is adversarial competition.
Oh, we've got it here. Um, I like that. Thank you. Yeah. I don't think I need that. Yeah, so it's, think of it as cooperation between the entity and the environment.
Yes.
There's got to be a set of arrows that we should be.
What's that mean?
There's one of these in here. In here, there's one of those in there. There's formula there. Yeah, sure it is.
Ah. Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking beautiful.
Hmm. We called it capital above. I would put capital, comma, cooperation, or some other. You can
Yeah,
introduce
yeah.
both of them.
We did good work there.
Hope so.
I'll leave through this one. Cooperation and satisfaction of coincidental wants produces evolutionary computation. In neutral and reciprocity is copied every step into every compute for discovery statement. Way too
I think
advanced.
that was, what?
Go ahead. It's way too early for this.
It's too early, you said?
Yeah.
I think it is. It should be just computation instead of evolutionary computation.
Yeah.
There should be okay.
Go ahead.
So you get rid of that evolutionary in that, yep. Not, yep, that one. And there's another one after that. 2 sentences, that 1 sentence down.
Yeah, it's more than I want to save this.
Oh,
Do it somewhere else.
I wanted to fix another thing in there. I like the premise of having computation precede evolutionary computation.
Yes. Yes. I don't know where this goes. I'm just going to put it here for you.
Momentarily. So I would take the evolutionary out of that and just leave it as computation.
Coincidences if it's not wants. This is all nonsense.
What's that?
Well, the rest of it doesn't belong.
Supply and demand is the coincidences of supply and demand.
I'm starting to crash, Brad.
That's all right.
Yeah, I'm in trouble. I'm losing my voice.
That's a sign, is it?
That's how I know. I know I've had enough.
I'm gonna get you a
That was a good day.
I'm glad you liked it. Very good.
Logic of the universe, the logic of evolutionary computation. I don't know.
We had a good day today. We did a lot of good work.
Yeah, I'll say all this. Okay, you stop. Okay, so thank you if you followed us. I'm sorry, I'm really crashing hard right now. If you followed us and you worked with us, we did it quite a bit. We started at what, 11?
Yeah.
1, 2, 30, 3.5. Okay, it's okay that I'm tired. Thank you if you've been following along with us, working along with us. I hope you enjoyed it. Brad, do your thing, please.
Hey, there's a button that says like, and another button that says subscribe, and another button that says, oh, notifications. And we would like you to hit all those buttons and then maybe leave some comments. We'd like to hear what you have to say.
Yes, thank you very much. Love your comments. All right, guys, thanks for joining us. I think I gotta go take a nap. I'm crashing.
He's got to go get some bagels.